Hi, I'm Emma Brewer and I'm the director of First Dance Studios and I run the Vision Project. I'm really proud of where First Dance Studios has got to. I've had the business now 18 years. I'm really proud that we've kept it going and all the people that have supported me throughout it have testament to that too. But I'm also really proud of the Vision Project. How it's building is sort of taking on a life form of its own really, and yeah, I'm really proud of that. So the Vision Project came out of COVID, and it was something that I created as an A to Z creative arts project, and it was really to give people that chance in the second lockdown to get together, but not just to dance. I mean, I already knew how important creative arts are, but it really highlighted how important it is as an escape, but how important it is for just enriching your lives, but also for connecting you to other people and building a community. What Vision Project is going to do is keep the dancing going, but we have then textiles, we have poetry, we have film, we have art, and I just want to create a project that combines everything. I decided to go for Creative Connections, this project, because of what came out of last year. What really united everything, not only the end of the party at the end and to see all the works and all the exhibitions, but it really highlighted, just brought everyone together. So hence why I went a bit more with Creative Connections. So you get to be creative and you connect to people, you build a community, you meet new friends, you develop new friendships, and everyone is there for each other and everyone makes sure everyone's okay with Corrie's help, but just then with everyone else's help around them as well. So this project, we started with a community art piece this time. So the community art piece with Hannah Bruce was fantastic. And then it went to music, it went to me, it's going to textiles. So it's just fabulous.
I'm Hannah Bruce, I'm a professional artist, and I have in the past been an art teacher as well for about 15 years. So I really enjoy going outdoors and painting outdoors and collaborating, as is the theme of this project, with other people, which led me to meeting Emma and to then collaborating on this project. And having taken part last year and being a response to the music this year, I was very privileged to be in position to be the starting piece, and with all 20 artists in the group and taking part in that piece. So, having spoken to Emma and we liaised together about what we could possibly do this year, I discussed this idea of lines of connection and the idea that some of us are more connected than others, and what that means and how we could represent that perhaps in a visual context. So what was important was that we had some sort of anchor point, and I have to say a very simple anchor point that worked for this project was the idea of lines of connection. I introduced it in the first session as an activity where we all had ribbons, and we held those ribbons up, and each of us took one end of one another's, and then we did this idea of interlacing, a bit maypole-ish, where you're connecting and what does the colour mean on those ribbons? Is it significant? How do they interact with each other? And this was the grounding force of this conceptual idea. So we did a large-scale piece where everybody was drawing a single line, but we considered about how we want to make that line move. There were set points on the canvas so that we didn't have too much of a jumble. There was some control there, and they came in at one point and off at another, and they interact with the lines that came before, which is challenging for the first person that draws the line. That's quite an anxious moment. So the first people who did it would have had a harder job, but then those that came after would make more interactions. We also talked about words that related, because there's text and it helps people to connect if you've got words that you can add in. And I took the way that the artists in my class had written their words, and I took some of those words and their own handwriting and I added it into the larger piece so that we can use some of these words within that piece. And we chose the words out of about 20 or 30 words. We picked the key words that people were interested in. When someone in a class situation sees somebody else's work and they see that, oh, they're doing that, they might get nervous and then start to change their ideas about what they wanted to do. So you saw interactions happening, but they're both positive, and sometimes somebody could be more nervous than somebody else. So they would make decisions that are influenced by other people, but that's always going to happen. So behind us, they're obviously influenced here with the individual artist's work in the second workshop, because I have shown them the main piece and the colours and the way that I applied the colour, and that is going to influence how they produce their pieces behind. After the first workshop, where everyone drew the lines in, I then emphasised those lines and the colours that they'd chosen and made them thicker and more vibrant. And then with the piece we've got here, I was then thinking about the light and the dark of relationships. So in this piece, we've got the darker side and we've got the lighter side coming in, and I'm trying to sometimes harmonise, but other times not. We talked about the lines being certain colours, so the lines, some of them, I would make them lighter or darker as they went through the picture. And then we've got figures, so united this idea of dancers, as we are going to have dance in there, and knowing from last year's project I was doing the energy and the movement in the piece of art relating to the dance and the way that the people were moving. And I wanted to have the word concert because it's a musical connection, which is clearly happening with what was going to happen next within the programme of activities with the arts. I would like to think that those people that take part in art classes that I run, they might go away and actually reevaluate and go, actually, I did really well. And seeing the fantastic work that is here, I think that everybody succeeded. And I'm really proud of this piece of work and what they achieved, and fills me with gladness because their inhibitions are disappearing and they feel that they can do it.
Hi, my name is Jo, and I teach art. I'm an artist, I teach art, and I also do therapeutic arts counselling. So we had a group of around 12 people. They were a mixture of adults, men and women. There were people who had worked with me before, and there were people who hadn't worked with me before. I started off not with clay, I started off with rice, simply to free them up and to see how they worked in a close environment, because I had 12 people around a round table, and lots of them didn't think that that would work. They also had to gain the confidence to work with somebody either side of them, and then people opposite watching. That, I think, opened them and freed them and loosened them up. And then when they got to do their clay, some of them did start working separately, but then I think they realised when they brought their pieces in as to whether they were connecting with the people to the right or left. They were able to communicate, they were able to review it, and I think there was a lovely upbeat feeling and relaxed feeling. Clay is very grounding anyway, but I felt that they were all very collaborative. When I was 50, I started to teach art, and my greatest achievement is really, I think, facilitating a space for people to explore and access that inner well-being spring within them through art. And because I think whether it's recreational or therapeutic, they're both therapeutic. We lose ourselves in the moment, but we also find out who we are. You know, whether we're perfectionists, whether we can have passive persistence. And so the achievement is actually seeing people transform their lives. I met Emma through my daughter, Zara, who dances with her. Emma's very passionate about what she does, and she basically does the same thing as me, is providing a space for people to explore their creative side. And so we just were two souls that were waiting to meet. It was just destiny. My challenge probably was to make sure that everybody felt comfortable and safe in that space. They all, I believe, came with an open mind and heart. The atmosphere was very relaxed, and people were very open with how they felt if they hadn't ever touched clay before or didn't know anybody. There were also people who thought that there's no way we're going to all fit around the table. So something that they thought wasn't possible was. I think that they worked incredibly well together. I didn't really feel there was any kind of major wobblies at all. So for me, creative connections, I thought it was a great topic. Irrespective of whether we believe we are or not, we're all creations. So how we connect to ourselves is key, and also how we can connect, therefore, to our outer world, how we connect with other people, with our environment, with nature. It's all critical, and in a world which is becoming more AI, artificially intelligent, I think it's very important. Through the clay project, we were looking at how we could do their own little pizza slices, I called it, and create their own movement, but how it could possibly link in to their left and the right. And when they linked, did they impose and dominate the partner to the right or the left? So there were lots of aspects of how did we connect. So that was all very, very interesting, yeah.
You've got to put in your life experience within paintings. When I was painting the larger piece and thinking about how all the artists were going to interact, I was thinking about Carla, who was a very good friend in Woking Art Society. I've known her for years. Unfortunately, she passed away from one project to the next, which was a great shock. So when I was doing the piece, I was thinking about her and her creative vibrancy. She'd produced 5 or 6 pieces of drawings and she brought them to show me. She was really on board with the project. And so I suppose that's where the darker element in the top corner was coming in, and while I was painting it, I did have this emotional connection on that level about, you know, sometimes these lines of connection are going to finish, and how do you show that? It's not all happy, and so I suppose that's an important aspect of connections as well. Yeah.
I think what Emma's set up is actually encouraging people to involve, is that we're giving people a chance to try something. And as adults, unless we're perfect, we don't do it. We're very critical. But we forget that we didn't get match fit on the first day in the gym. We have to persevere. We don't do anything unless we do it repetitively and it becomes second nature. I think it's great to lead people out of their comfort zones, and you know, I think it builds their confidence, their self-esteem, their ability to stay inquiring, to stay interested, to explore, and you know, to continue to learn, because I think we learn till the day we die. So there's no point saying I've done that, I've been there, because it's always a different experience at a different time and with different people.
So there's 3 dances in this. We have a male duet, a female duet, and then the community piece. So the community piece I started with, and effectively that's the finale. So I've been going in backwards really. The community dance piece, we got over 20 dancers, which is fantastic. And what I wanted to do is get a sense of community and a sense of, and what connections mean to them. So in the first rehearsal, sat everyone down and said, give me a word that, you know, something that, you know, connections means to you. And a lot of people went with friendship, a lot of people went with, you know, just community, or just, it was really lovely actually how everyone saw the word connection. So I used that within the dance. So you'll see movements where they actually are physically touching, they're going around, and it's sort of, also I wanted to see how connections work from a pattern point of view. I do love a pattern anyway, but you know, going around in different ways, but then still connecting somehow whilst people are moving in different directions. And there are moments where there's stillness, there are moments where there is just this flow to connect people. And so I also wanted to have this I had this kaleidoscope sort of vision that, you know, where you, almost like Busby Berkeley, beautiful patterns. As you can see people moving on the floor, it connects. So it was really interesting. I love, you know, creating and choreographing is my biggest passion in life. So for me, just to go for it with these incredible dancers, and there's people in there who have not danced before. I'm super proud of them. There's people who have danced, we've got some ex-professionals, we've got people who've just done a bit. Everyone is absolutely brilliant in it. Yeah. I've got ideas to have movement within all 3 so that you can see the connection. I see the connections in the community piece as more friendship, sort of building up of relationships in that way, and then we can be a bit more organic with the male and the female, so it can be a bit more about perhaps nurturing family, Definitely. So I think, yeah, so that's going to, you'll see a theme through that as well.
So Echo's not the first person on the planet to have had experienced the course. There have been people throughout millennia who have recorded experiences like this. Student experiences, actually thousands and thousands of people.
I think the connections, not only has it come out of Vision Project and the A to Z Challenge, what's really lovely is seeing people create such good friendships throughout the studio. So for me, connecting people, and if it leads to, you know, friendships and connections for life, it's amazing. And what dance does and what art does, and you know, all the creative arts, is that it brings people together, and in a way that, because it's expressing, but it's joy, and it's giving people something that is just such a pure, it's just pure escapism, joy. So I think if I really wanted to build up friendships, but also just a support network for people as well. I don't know where the next one's going. I still, maybe we start with a new focal point. So we've started with music. This one started with art. I don't know, where do I go with this? Do I start with dance? But maybe I pick a move. Oh, I've just thought that. Okay, I'll do that. But yeah, the next project, again, it's just getting people involved, getting people who want to, you know, just have fun and discover their own creative sides and put themselves out of their comfort zone a bit. It's a really, really powerful thing. But we're all in it together. So I will definitely be putting another project together.